guys, I want to show you something here. This here is mulberry, and I had to cut this tree down, so I figured I would shoot a quick video on it. Before I get into this, I'm going to show you the leaves really quick and a separate little shot I took next to kudzu leaves, so you can see the differences. Obviously one's a vine, one's a tree, but they are kind of similar, not really, but kind of. So check that out real quick, and then I'll show you this. So here's just a quick look at our mulberry leaves. Okay, when you're identifying this, there's three types. Okay, you're gonna see that one, you're gonna see this one, and you're gonna see this one. Okay, and then here's kudzu, which you can see is kind of similar. Okay, different feel to it. Definitely different. You will notice the difference if you get up close to them and everything. And obviously, this is a vine, this is a tree. But I just want to show you that they're kind of similar, so in case you were using the leaves for something or trying to identify it, you saw this and thought this was it, just make sure it's not a vine. But this here's the leaves of the mulberry. Okay, see it's kind of lighter on the back, fuzzy. But these are the three types of leaves you're going to see on the mulberry. So I bring this up real close. You can see the bark has these fine rings, like darker rings to it. Okay, let me get you up in here. Okay, see these rings it has? Whiter, darker, whiter, darker. That's one thing you can use to show you that you have mulberry. Another thing that I'm going to show you, come back here, set this guy down. Mulberry was used by the Indians to make some pretty strong cordage. Okay, mulberry is great for that. It's got fibers like you wouldn't believe in it. I'll bring you up in here real close. This is just a big piece that ripped off when I was cutting it. Okay, so I'm going to bring you here and just kind of show you how well this stuff works. Okay, I'm going to try to split it with my hands. Okay, you can see that wasn't very easy. Now, if you can look up in there, you see them fibers that are connecting this thing? That's what makes it so strong. Now I could take this thing and split it down like this. And it splits well, obviously you can tell. But I can just split this thing right down into a really, really nice long piece of cordage that I could easily make a bow drill fire with. Okay, I'm pulling as hard as I can on this thing and cannot break it. It's very pliable. Okay, I don't need to do anything with this. Right here, attach this to your bow drill, put your spindle in, spin away. Okay, that easy with this. Now, just because we don't need to weave it doesn't mean we shouldn't. If we want to make good strong pieces of cordage, we can split this thing down smaller and smaller, weave some nice pieces of cordage together. Okay, split's easy, it's easy to work with, super pliable. I mean, you can make some pretty good stuff with this. Okay, and that's why I'm showing you this, because it was a shame I had to cut it down, but they wanted it gone, so I cut it. Figured, hey, I'm going to shoot a video on it. Okay, we're just going to get a piece started here. You can see I can just take this thing all the way down, get me a nice long piece of cordage. Okay, it's not hard to get that off there. If you get really deep in there, you can just peel it right off. Another thing we can do is make a container, like I showed you, a bark container. Okay, I've showed you a lot of bark containers. The reason being is I want you to know there's more than one kind you can use. Okay, so we're going to make this the same way we made the rest. We're just going to slice all the way around the tree. Make sure you get in there deep. Just like all the rest, we start slicing. Peels off very easily from the tree. Now my knife is angled downward because I do not want to puncture this thing. Okay, now I can probably just use my hand. See how I'm just slowly working this off? And this is how I did it on the pine, the cedar, birch bark, all of it. Okay, now birch bark's not going to be slimy like this is, like pine and cedar, but it still works. Birch bark's great for making containers. This one's good because of its strength and how flexible it is, and that's what I'm showing you, because that's the tough thing with some of these barks is they wanna split on you when you fold them. Okay, and that's what we don't want. You get these knots like right here, it's not going to want to go, so you want to just bang around that thing with a little bit of a baton. Get every edge of it. What that does is help loosen it up. Just like that. That should help you get it off there without having to sacrifice it. Okay, there's a little tip on getting around the knots. Yeah, like I said, I don't remember if I showed you that or not. Once we get that off, we have a piece of bark here that folds quite easily. Okay, and right there's a good example. What I'm talking about on tearing, you can see right there it folded, but it tore. And that's what you're going to deal with some of these barks. You have to be careful when you fold it. Okay, that's the key with this stuff. If you fold it almost not with the grain, but against it, it'll be fine. Okay, let me back it up here. Do this a little differently here. Okay, you can see we want to fold each of these corners and get them ready. Now it helps when you take that outer bark off, but mulberry almost gives it a little extra strength because that's pretty flexible as well. Okay, so we're just going to kind of get these started here. And then when you're done with that, you fold them in, and that's how you make your container. Okay, I know my pine bark was a little dark and people said they couldn't see it very well. So I'm going to do this one here real quick for you. Okay, you can see with my corners, this was a corner. Okay, you're not folding it in, you're not doing anything like that. You're taking the very point here of your corner and you're creasing that like you're making a paper airplane. Okay, fold that in, fold this one in. Okay, once you get them folded in, what it does is it raises this here edge up, and then you fold them in around the back side. Okay, now once you get to that point, you can go ahead and do your other side and get that one started. You're just kind of increasing the flexibility. Now if I had a fire going, I could make this more pliable by heating it up over the fire. Okay, loosens the particles in there to make it more pliable. Works great on birch bark, trust me. Birch bark's pretty hard to do without using a fire. Okay, and you can see we have a little bit of a hole right there from that knot. That's okay. Not going to hurt nothing because it's up high. So then we fold this side. Just creasing it real quick. Okay, now we fold it in. Get all our creases made. You can see now we're ready to put it together. We've got our creases made, our containers ready. Like I said, you can put these in the ground, stone boil with them if you don't want to make this part of it, or we can do what we're about to do. And I'm going to show you the method. I showed you how to make spikes and put spikes through them. Okay, you can also take this bark here and really shave it down. Okay, and you can fold these up by scrunching them. Okay, basically what happens is you fold this piece up and you almost scrunch it all in like this. Okay, you're just folding all these in like that, and you wrap cordage around this, and it gives you that same vessel in there. Okay, I don't like that method as much, but that is an option. Like I said, you just crunch this one up and then begin folding all these pieces in over, under like that, and you're left with a little convex area here to give you the wall, and then you just tie cordage around the outside. Okay, you gotta shave this bark down here, but I'm not gonna do that. There's easier methods in my opinion. Okay, I'm just gonna come over to this chunk of mulberry here, and I'm gonna use my multi-tool to saw on it. You can use your knife to whittle it out. I'm just trying to do this quick for the sake of the video. Just cut yourself 4 pegs. So we cut 4 pegs like so. Okay, and like I said, if you watch my Michigan video, you can see this done. Now, what we want to do, we want to split these and make a clothespin. So we have our baton stick here. Okay, just lay our knife right there in the center. We just want to open this thing up enough where it'll make a solid clothespin. Okay, so we come over to one corner of our container, get it back into position, fold it over, just like that, with our knife still in the clothespin. Make sure it's wide enough. Might not be. Take it down just a little more. That opens it up. Okay, let me come bring it closer. Okay, see that my knife has this thing opened. Then we can slide it over. Pull our knife out, finish pushing our peg on, and there's one. Now we repeat the process to finish. There's 2. You see, this does not take much time. Now there is benefits to either one. If you're using the other method, it's just faster and easier to make because you don't have to make such big pegs. However, you have to poke holes in your container. This method, obviously, you have to make the pegs, which takes more time and energy, but you don't have to poke holes in your container. So you have to learn your options and practice with them and see which ones you like the best. Okay, once you get your 4th one in, you've got a pretty sturdy, strong container. Okay, like I said, mulberry is real pliable, works well for this. You don't have to take the bark off, leave it on. This is just another way to lash your sides. You seen me put the stick through, you just put it straight through. Problem, you have to put holes in. This problem, you have to make the pegs, okay? Just think clothespins. You want to get them long enough, because I split one of them, had to remake it. It'll split all the way through. Make them long enough so you can split it a good ways, and it'll still have some strength to it. You can see I can hold on to these and shake them. Each one, they're all on there pretty good. So it's going to do just fine for me. I showed you how to patch up any holes, not holes or anything, with pine pitch. Works well. But here is the mulberry tree. Good cordage, good container. Here's another variation of how to make the container a container with simple pegs. Nature's clothespins. So go ahead and try this method out if you haven't tried any of the other ones. And I'll see you guys on the next one. If you have any questions on how to make this, just let me know. If anything was hard to see, sometimes people have a hard time figuring out how to fold the corners because they're wanting to do it what makes sense in their mind, but you have to think a little bit outside the box. Fold your corner to the point, fold that point in half, and think that, and then fold it in. Okay? If you look close here, you can see that's what happened. Okay? And your red mulberries and stuff grow some pretty good berries you can eat.